Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Dark Knight Studios coming at you with another video, and this will be my NBA bubble playoff predictions for every series game, how I see it playing out all the way through from round one into the NBA Finals, who I think is going to win these games, and in how many games. So let's start off with first, the Western Conference first round. We have the number 1 seeded Los Angeles Lakers versus the number 8 seeded Portland Trailblazers. Most people probably think the Lakers are going to get the sweep. I don't see the sweep. I have the LA Lakers over the Portland Trailblazers 5 games, 4 games to 1. Next Western Conference round 1 matchup. The 4 seeded Houston Rockets, led by Russell Westbrook and James Harden, versus the number 5 seeded Oklahoma City Thunder, who have been playing pretty well. Well, I am taking the Houston Rockets in 6, 4 games to 2. Then we have the 3 seeded Denver Nuggets versus the 6 seeded Utah Jazz. I have the Denver Nuggets taking it in 6 games, 4 games to 2. And then finally, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and the Los Angeles Clippers facing the 7-seeded Dallas Mavericks. I think this will be a better series than people expect. I do think Mavericks will win some games, but I still take the Los Angeles Clippers in 6 games, 4 games to 2 to advance to the Western Conference semifinals. Now let's get to the Eastern Conference round 1 matchups. The 1-seeded Milwaukee Bucks, led by Giannis Antetokounmpo, or however you say his last name, it's hard to pronounce, versus the 8-seeded Orlando Magic. I have the Milwaukee Bucks in a clean sweep, 4 games to none, or 4 games to 0. Then we have what I think will be another great playoff game. There's a lot of good games in these playoffs. This will be the 5-seeded Miami Heat, led by Jimmy Butler, versus the 4-seeded Indiana Pacers, led by Victor Oladipo. I think this is a toss-up for me, but I give the edge slightly to Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat, taking it in 7 games, 4 games to 3. Next matchup, we have another good series. It's the 3-seeded Boston Celtics, led by Kemba Walker and Gordon Hayward, versus the 6-seeded Philadelphia 76ers, who unfortunately are without Ben Simmons for the rest of the playoffs. He's done for the season. And I think that will ultimately be the downfall of the 76ers. They'll put up a good fight, but I have the Boston Celtics over the Philadelphia 76ers in 7 games, 4 games to 3. Next matchup, the final one of the Eastern Conference first round, the 2-seeded Toronto Raptors versus the 7-seeded Brooklyn Nets. Yes, the Brooklyn Nets don't have Kevin Durant, they don't have Kyrie Irving, but they have Spencer Dinwiddie, and they have been playing pretty good. They have been quite a good surprise. And I do not see the Toronto Raptors getting the sweep. I have the Raptors over the Nets in 6 games, 4 games to 2. Next, the Western Conference semifinals, which sets up the 1-seeded Los Angeles Lakers versus the 4-seeded Houston Rockets. I have the Los Angeles Lakers in 4 games to 2. And then that sets up the Los Angeles Clippers, the 2-seeded Los Angeles Clippers versus the 3-seeded Denver Nuggets. Again, this will not be a sweep, but I do have the LA Clippers in winning it in 5 games, 4 games to 1. Then we go to the Eastern Conference semifinals. We have Giannis Antetokounmpo, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, as the 1-seeded Milwaukee Bucks face the 5-seeded Miami Heat, led by Jimmy Butler. Again, I think this could be a decent series, but I have the Milwaukee Bucks winning it in 6 games, 4 games to 2. And the final semifinals game this one in the Eastern Conference as well. The number 3 seeded Boston Celtics versus the number 2 seeded Toronto Raptors. I have the Boston Celtics winning it in 6, 4-2, even though the Raptors have the better playoff experience. I just feel like the Celtics have a better overall team. And any of these games could go either way. I think it's going to be an incredible playoff race other than maybe the Orlando Magic. Every other team actually has a legit shot at winning. But again, the Boston Celtics over the Toronto Raptors, 4-2. That sets up the conference finals. We have the Western Conference Finals between the number 1 seeded LA Lakers and the number 2 seeded LA Clippers, a battle for Los Angeles. This one is a toss-up. This could go either way. Both teams are really good. It's going to be one really good series of games. But I'm going with the team that I think has the slightly better team with LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Kyle Kuzma, Jared Dudley, I think, is on there. Correct me if I'm wrong down below. But I have the LA Lakers barely edging out the Los Angeles Clippers 4-3, going the full 7 games. Then the Eastern Conference Finals, we have the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis, the Greek Freak, versus the 3-seeded Boston Celtics led by Gordon Hayward, Kemba Walker. Again, I think this could be a good series, but I think a lot of people are probably going to go with it. I have the Milwaukee Bucks over the Celtics in 6 games, 4-2. So, yes, that leads. I know a lot of people are saying this, but this is just what I feel currently will happen. It's the battle of the 2 1-seeded teams, the Los Angeles Lakers led by LeBron James and AD Anthony Davis versus the Greek Freak Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks in the NBA Finals. And I think Giannis will make it to the finals, but unfortunately his first trip to the finals will fall short as the Los Angeles Lakers win their, I don't know how many NBA championships they won. They are my favorite team. That's not why I'm picking them. I just think they're the best team in the NBA right now. Though I also could say the Miami Heat are playing well, the Pacers, the Celtics, the Sixers, the Raptors, the Nets, the Rockets, the Clippers. I mean, this is just going to be an incredible playoff series. But LA Lakers, led by MVP LeBron James, over the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis in 7 games, 4-3. Your NBA champions are LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. Do I guarantee this is going to be the results? No, I don't. I do think there is a possibility that the Thunder could upset the Rockets. I think the Jazz could upset the Nuggets. The Mavs could even upset the Clippers. I just don't quite see it happening right now. I think there is a possibility the Heat or Pacers, that could go either way. Sixers, Celtics, I think could go either way, but with Ben Simmons being out for the Sixers, that's why I give the edge to the Boston Celtics. And even the Raptors and the Toronto Raptors and the Brooklyn Nets could go either way, but I just think the Toronto Raptors are the better team, the more playoff experience. But that could go either way. I mean, I could honestly see the NBA Finals in the Western Conference. It's either going to be the Lakers, Clippers, or Rockets representing the Western Conference. And then the Eastern Conference, I say it's either going to be the Milwaukee Bucks, the pretty much any team other than probably the Orlando Magic, Brooklyn Nets, and Toronto Raptors. So the Milwaukee Bucks, the Miami Heat, the Indiana Pacers, Boston Celtics, and maybe possibly the Philadelphia 76ers. Any of them 5 teams can make it to the finals. I just don't think the Raptors, Nets, or Magic have what it takes to get there. But please, you are more than welcome. I would love for you to comment down below your thoughts, who you think's going to win. Give your predictions for every game series, how many games you think it's going to go, who's going to win. And please comment down below who you think your NBA finals champions will be. If you like this video, please, please like the video, comment down below, and please, I would love it if you would subscribe. You don't have to. I'm not gonna beg you to, but that is my predictions for the NBA playoffs. And this is Dark Knight Studios coming at you with my only video of the day, and everyone stay safe and have a good one, and Dark Knight Studios signing off.